Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make a buying decision. Now, all of the business details, which include the type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included in the sale can be found on the business listing. To view this information, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which is listed in the video thumbnail and the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And if after listening you want to take an even deeper dive into the business to perform your due diligence before potentially purchasing this business, you can unlock this listing to look through all of the business information, which includes the domain, the products, the P&L, and more. So can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
So first of all, my name is Anthony Mancuso. I've been building and running these online businesses since 2014. Before that, I worked for an electrical contractor and I had various other jobs. I had never been trained. I have no technical experience in this kind of stuff and building or running online businesses. I've never been formally educated in it or went to school for it, things like that. I did it, the way a lot of people do it. I had to start from scratch. Like I said, I didn't know how to build a website or any of this stuff that's needed for building an online business. Between blogs, YouTube, hiring coaches and mentors, and just trial and error, learning a little at a time, I was able to do it. And how I got started was I had an acquaintance, someone I knew from a different area in life. And I could see that he was always posting pictures on Facebook with his family and traveling the world. And, he looked like he was doing really well financially and had a lot of freedom, something that I didn't have at all in my life at that time. I was really just spending a lot of time punching the clock and just trying to find a better way to go about things. And I don't know what caused me to message him that day, but, I sent him a message and I said, hey, at the time I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I actually thought that he was involved in investing. So I asked him, hey, do you have any investment tips for me? Is there anything, I thought he was a financial advisor. So it turned out, when I asked him, when I started talking to him, he said, listen, Anthony, if you really want to be able to change your financial situation and create a lot more financial freedom for yourself and be able to work and earn money from anywhere in the world, you should look into this, and this, and he gave me a list of about 5 different things to learn, to research and study. So I really took that seriously and I dove into each of the topics that he mentioned. I ended up hiring him as like a coach and a mentor, for a part of it. And I also started the learning journey on my own. So between everything that I learned, I was able to, make a start. And then over the past, about 7 years since then, the whole time, I've been involved with building out these content sites, these lead generation sites, and I've been able to kind of perfect my process, or I don't want to say perfect it, but I've been able to really kind of get my process dialed in. And I have a bunch of test sites and I can see what works, what doesn't, and I've stayed doing this for the whole time I've been online. I've done other stuff as well, but I've always come back to building these lead generation sites. And in the beginning, what I would do is I would build these sites out and I'd sell the leads directly to the local businesses, to whatever niche that I had built sites in, whether it was dentists, electricians, whatever the site specifically was about. And I'd have salespeople, or at the beginning, I was making the sales calls myself and doing it myself. And I was able to get to a certain level with that. And, that was great for me at the time. That was a game changer. It allowed me to change my whole, lifestyle and, allowed me a lot more financial freedom than I had up until that point. But what was really a game changer for me was when I shifted my entire business model to the pay-per-call affiliate model. And what that allowed me to do is that allowed me to just cut out the client altogether from my end to where I no longer had to worry about selling clients or dealing with client emails and people calling me on the phone or asking me questions. Not that that's a bad thing, but for me, I really wasn't into it. It became more of a nuisance for me. So what was really a game changer was when I started with the affiliate pay-per-call, it allowed me to just completely be the middleman, right? I could build out these sites, generate traffic, have a phone number on the site, on the landing pages, on the pages, and customers would call directly to the phone number. It would be automatically transferred to the affiliate network, which would then transfer that phone call to the client that they were working with in the area. They deal 100% with all the client questions, all the issues, and anything that deals with the client. So I was able to scale so much faster and just eliminate a huge headache. On a day-to-day, on a week-to-week basis or month-to-month basis, I have no interaction with the clients, the partners themselves that receive leads, nor do I care to. And that has been a complete shift in my business and the way that I've been able to do things and scale. And the biggest takeaway for me was actually that I didn't even take a hit income-wise from it. It wasn't a situation where, I was making more money selling it direct to the clients. It wasn't that at all. I actually was able to make more money by selling it, through the affiliate networks because of the fact that I was able to produce volume and because they had these existing relationships, and it just removed a whole bottleneck completely. So that's a little bit about myself and my experience in building and running these online businesses.
So why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
So I'm going to be setting up with my family in Denmark for the next few years, and the taxes there are very high. So strategically, it makes sense for me right now to sell this and realize that income and then spend the next few years continuing to build up other things, work on other projects. I'm also planning to get into real estate as well.
What did you learn from building this business that worked for you? Or what do you think contributed to the success you experienced with this business?
I would say that this business has kind of been blessed from the beginning, or, it's been a better project. So other projects that I have taken more time and resources, but from the beginning, the time spent versus income realized on this project has been and continues to be awesome. I've taken a very conservative and safe approach as far as content and link building on this project. Also, we've not used any AI content on this site, and we've kept the link building very slow, but high quality and consistent.
Got it. So was there anything you tried that didn't work out as well?
Definitely been long periods of time where I've been much too conservative with this site as far as how fast I went with content and links. And now this goes back to the last question. So it was a good thing, but at times it was, it could have been, at times it was definitely a negative as well. Especially more towards the beginning, there were stretches of time where I just let the site sit instead of adding more content and or backlinks. And if I could go back again, I would have just stayed very consistent throughout the whole entire process. And I believe that the site would be doing at least double what it is now. Like a lot of people, I just had too many other projects going on at times and had my attention split between too many different things. I'm sure a lot of you can relate as entrepreneurs. A lot of times we've got a lot of different projects going and things of that nature.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
The beautiful thing about these type of sites is that they're extremely, extremely hands-off. And I definitely don't want to oversell it, but like I said, I've done other ventures online. By far, the time and money spent on this and how passive they are, is over and above anything else that I've done online. So the work that I do with this site is about once a week or once every other week, I'll go in and I'll order the next 5 to 10 pieces of content for the site from the writers. So I have a simple formula for figuring out which pieces of content will be next. And there's a template that the writers use in order to keep things very simple. So there's a template for ordering the content, and there's a template that the writers use in order to write it.
Now, if you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
So I think this site has a huge upside. I think that this could be a monster of a site. And what I would say is I will continue adding city pages to the site to target, as well as adding informational/blog content. I would also add another source of income with display ads or AdSense, and I'd look to sign up with Mediavine or AdThrive for additional revenue. Now, the thing with this site is it's just been over the last year that I've been adding a lot of this informational content, and the last 6 months has been a big part of it. So it has a lot of the growth that it's going to realize from that informational content, I would say, is still coming. And I haven't monetized that at all yet. I haven't monetized any of the informational content. So once that gets to a tipping point as well, of course, in the beginning, you can sign up to like Google AdSense when the traffic is not up to a certain amount for like the informational post. But once you could sign up to Mediavine, get some bigger payouts and just streamline things with that, I feel that it could be a really nice source of additional revenue along with the site is already earning.
And what are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Of course, due to the fact that this is a content site and most of the traffic from the site is from organic traffic, the biggest risk is always for these content sites that, a Google algorithm comes and, you lose some traffic. But with that said, the focus with this site has always been spending the time to do things right and play it safe. Like I said, there's no AI content on this site. I've been diligent about keeping up with that. And the link building, as I said before, I've definitely taken a conservative approach.
And how much support are you willing to offer a buyer who acquires this business?
So 30 days of email support and 2 60-minute phone consultations, as well as a video training series on how I run the business. This isn't the first site that I've sold. And I know that even someone that has no experience building or running these type of businesses, it's a super simple business model to run, and you really don't need much support. And I've got things set up to where it runs like an assembly line, like a machine. And realistically, all you really need is the video training series that I'm going to add as well. But of course, I've got the 30 days of email support and the 2 60-minute phone consultations in there. And like I said, there's nothing complicated about running the business. And, in my mind, that's one of the biggest selling points of it is how little time it takes to run and how simple it is.
And regarding the sale of this business, just confirming you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, I will be signing a non-compete for the niche. There are some topics that aren't part of the main niche that I have like 1 page on or 2 pages of content on that won't be included in the non-compete, just because if the non-compete covered every single topic that the site had a page on, I would be like eliminating myself from way too many niches. I won't be building another site in the niche, and I will sign a non-compete for the niche, definitely.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
I definitely prefer all cash up front for the deal, but I'm open to considering an earnout based on the details and the buyer.
Now, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
My business is worth buying because it's proven itself over the years. It's been around since 2016, and it continues to experience year-over-year growth. And it's also definitely what I would consider a lifestyle business in the sense that it takes me about an hour or less of simple work each week to run. I've built this business into a well-oiled machine, and it runs automatically with very little input from me. There's no customer support. It's very hands-off. There's no issues with technical stuff. And this is truly a business that I feel anyone can run. I'm not a technical person by any means, and you definitely don't need to be one to run this business.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which is listed in the video thumbnail and the description. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So thanks for joining us, and until next time.